Hi, this is a quick demonstration video of a old Pioneer receiver model SX-990. I'm going to start around back here with a few things. So there's your antenna connections for your AM and FM and ground. There's some switched and unswitched outlets for other components if you want to hook them up, power them from this. Here's a fuse for the power supply. And here's an antenna for the radio. This unit has a note in here. When two speaker systems are used, the impedance of each of the speaker systems should be 8 ohm or more. Okay. Down here we've got, there's the model number. Serial number's in there, but I know it's kind of hard to read, but it is there. There's your tape record playback. Those funky connectors there. And here's all your AC inputs and outputs. Auxiliary. There's a ground you can use for your turntable. I'm going to turn this thing off. Moment here. The speakers, you've got these connections here that are a little different. You got a scoot terminal there, and then this plugs into the back. They're a little bit annoying to work with, but they are functional. This one has 2 sets of speaker outputs. And there's even a center channel. And then there's a pre-out. So if you wanted to use it like a preamp, and then the main amplifier. So they're just looped. This connector here just loops it from the pre-out to the main amp in, which I think most people use it that way. Then you've got different turntable inputs here for a moving magnet and the CER. I don't know if that's ceramic or coil, moving coil maybe. There's a note on here: when using these terminals, remove these plugs. Oh, really? Yeah. Sounds pretty obvious. So, but anyway, that's the back side. This cover, sorry. So this cover comes off, just, you got 2 screws on either side. But it's a nice cabinet. It's got a metal grate here, and it does, you can feel it does let out the heat for ventilation. And this unit's in very nice shape. I'm sure it just sat on the shelf for most of its life and didn't really get moved around too much. But this is a very nice one. It's fully functional, from what I can tell. it on here. Only thing, I think there's a bulb out for the display. But everything else is lit up. And there might be a bulb out for the auxiliary inputs to phono. Yeah. So when I switch this over to auxiliary, you don't get the light. So I think the auxiliary display is not working, but phono 2, phono 1, and your FM. FM mono, then your AM. Yeah, everything else is working. Just one bulb for the display, and then the auxiliary needs a new bulb. Not a huge deal, but anyway. Start here on the left. This is your powered on-off switch. So if I turn it, power off, turn it on. First stop is A, and that is just your A output for your speakers. Your A setup, your A speakers left and right, and then speakers off. So like if you just wanted to listen maybe on your headphones, and then speaker B, and then A and B together. I know this thing they don't always line up right, but that's what that's for. So we'll go back to our A, which is what I've got it on. Hooked up to the A speakers in the back. Here's your headphone jack. And then these are just your tone controls here. Your bass and your treble. Interesting thing about this is you can actually change the tone of the left and right independently, which is, you don't see that very often. So it's hard, I won't be able to really show you on this. It takes two hands, but this back knob will turn independently of this front knob. Same with the treble. Then you got your low and high pass filters just for your frequencies. Just get your highs and your lows filtered in and out. And just get your left and right balance here. Pretty straightforward. Of course, your volume control.
The American Lung Association.
And then your loudness. If you're going to listen at low levels, you might want to turn that on. And then muting. The muting is just to mute between stations when you're tuning like your FM stations and that sort of thing. It mutes so you don't get all that staticky sound. And your tape monitor for your tape playback and recording and that sort of thing. And this is some type of a stereo mode. I'm not exactly sure what this does, but there is I don't know if it reverses the left and the right here, and then the up is stereo, then there's a left and right, and then left plus right. So I need to look up the manual for this unit and see what that is. But I noticed when it's on L plus R, if there's any kind of fuzziness sound in the radio, then it goes away. So yeah, I need to read up on that. Then you just got your standard tuning knob, and then your input selection here. Just got your station indicators, and you got your tuning indicators. This is your signal level, and then this is how tuned it is on that station. So if I stop, so yeah, if I'm tuning it here,
sunny and quiet day today. We'll get it
so
breezy at times, but temperatures will
you see
be
it.
rising up into the upper 70s. Later on tonight, we'll have a few clouds passing
Yeah, it's
by.
really nice.
Temperatures drop into the
It just helps you align your station properly. So yeah, the tuner works great. I don't have any external antenna plugged in on this, and it still is picking up channels no problem on both AM and FM. Right now I've got it on FM.
Custom grills to tonneau covers. Summit Racing.
So if I go over to AM here,
when you're required to take money out of your IRA or
so yeah. AM in the basement doesn't work too well, but yeah, so it's working very, very well. I've played CD player through this and it sounds great. Oh yeah, there's also a microphone input here. So if you wanted to do maybe some recording or something like that, you could do that through this. But anyway, yeah, it's a nice unit. On the bottom, it's all metal, and there's a plate you can pull off for servicing. You just gotta pull some screws out here, and it gives you access to the lower components underneath. You know, if you needed to access these to clean them, the switches and the potentiometers, you can do that from the bottom real easily. But anyway, yeah, that's just a quick overview of the Pioneer stereo receiver model SX-990. Thanks for viewing.